Hey guys, Jinx here, and today I want to show you how I beat Morimoto and Cynthia in a really easy way. I've had a guide on this in the past, however, I found some inconsistencies in it, and this one works much more smoothly and has been further tested. A big thank you to Golfer for pointing out the initial strategy to me, and working together to brainstorm this overall strategy. His forum post linked in the description below. The nice thing with this strategy is your setup is going to be the same every single time. In case you don't know, Morimoto and Cynthia have 5 separate teams each that you need to cover, and you're going to be able to beat them all in a really easy way with basically just 3 Pokemon. The payout for it is going to be 15,660 without any charms on Morimoto, and 16,560 on Cynthia without any charm. This means that just with an amulet coin active, you're going to make 48,330 by beating just these 2 trainers.
This can't be true.
Each one of them is 1.5 times more than any gym leader, so I definitely think they're worth doing. Also, if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 5k, and I've got something special planned for you guys at 5k. So let's get there and keep the channel growing. Thank you so much for subscribing. The first 2 Pokemon you're going to want are 2 Metagrosses. Pretty much any Metagross should work fine here, so if you have an Elite 4 Metagross, that would work perfect. I've had more success with a defensive Metagross, but I'm sure pretty much any Metagross will work for this. It doesn't need to be perfect, you definitely don't need like 5x31, even just some decent defenses, HP, special defense, and you should be fine. 20 or 25 plus IVs in your HP and defenses should work perfect. Some speed definitely doesn't hurt here, however, even that you could probably go pretty budget on. Mine is Impish, and I definitely think that helps with the bulk, but all he's doing here is going to be using a Choice Scarf to trick onto the lead of Morimoto or Cynthia, and then they're going to set up Stealth Rocks. The Stealth Rocks will make sure we break any of the sashes on either Morimoto or Cynthia's teams. And the Choice Scarf will make sure they're locked on one move so that we can get set up with our next Pokemon. The only reason you're going to want 2 here is if the first goes down before you've tricked and set up Stealth Rocks. Sometimes you'll go down just after tricking on the Choice Scarf and you won't have time to get the Stealth Rocks out. So you bring up the second one, which should keep them using the same move since it's the same super effectiveness, because we don't want to force them to swap out after we've choice locked them. So if you need to, your second Metagross can come out, throw down the rocks, and then you can swap out. From there, we're going to be swapping into Dragonite. The reason this works so well is pretty much everything that's super effective against Metagross is not very effective against Dragonite. So if we get them to use a super effective move on Metagross, and then we swap into our Dragonite, it'll be choice locked on that move from the Choice Scarf, and then we can set up on our Dragonite while taking minimal damage. For this, you want a Dragonite with Adamant Nature and Max Attack. Having decent defenses is also important here because you're going to have to be tanking a few hits while you set up. Your HP, defense, and special defense should be at least 20 or 25 plus. You're going to be using the item Covert Mantle, which will allow you to set up even if Morimoto or Cynthia is using an electric move that can paralyze you, or a fire move that can burn you, or anything else that'll give you a status effect along with its attack. From here, we're just going to Dragon Dance 3 times if we can, and sweep, typically just using Dragon Claw. If you can only Dragon Dance 2 times and then you're at risk of going down, you can clear the majority of the teams. The only thing is that there's a couple damage rolls that happen if you're only +2, so it's safer to go +3. You're going to Dragon Claw in almost every case, however you want Extreme Speed and Earthquake as well. Earthquake's going to be used on Morimoto's Gengar to ensure the Cursed Body doesn't mess up the run, and also on Empoleon and Lucario on Cynthia. They're a little bulkier, so having the super effective Earthquake definitely helps out with them. The Extreme Speed is specifically for Mamoswine on Morimoto. Mamoswine will use Ice Shard, which is a priority move, and it'll OHKO Dragonite if you don't use Extreme Speed. So you definitely need to Extreme Speed Mamoswine. If you're only +2 though, this will be a damage roll, so again, I do recommend going to +3 if you have the HP available for it. Other than that, I recommend Multiscale, the hidden ability on Dragonite, just for that extra bulk that helps with setting up. You can also bring a backup Mon if you want. I like having a Gengar here, because at max speed, a Gengar will outspeed pretty much everything they have. I put a Focus Sash on it too, so I can just Nasty Plot, and with the high speed of Gengar, you can just sweep from there, even if you're on 1 HP. I've done about 80 clears with Morimoto and about 60 of Cynthia using this strategy, and of all those, I've only had to use Gengar 1 time. However, it is smart to just have a backup, just in case. This also leaves room for some extra lower level Pokemon to throw in the back. I always hate wasting EXP when I'm doing reruns, so throw an EXP share or a reamp on, throw a lower level Pokemon on, and you can get some experience as you're running. And with all that, let's take a look at how this run plays out. So I just popped at 75% Rich's Charm coming into this fight because I do know that I'm going to be going right into a gym rerun after this. I lead with my defensive Metagross. It's pretty budget, it's not much to show off. All he's doing is tricking that Choice Scarf onto this Tauros. Tauros uses close combat, locking him into a fighting move so I can set up my Stealth Rocks and get Dragonite in. Dragonite resists the fighting move, however Tauros is stuck on that move, so I can easily Dragon Dance 3 times. If you're ever in a situation where it's a hard hitting move or you expect it to hurt Dragonite a lot, let's say like a Thunderbolt or something like that, you can wait for Metagross to go down and just spam Stealth Rocks until he dies naturally, and that'll preserve your multi-scale, allowing Dragonite to survive an extra turn for setting up. From there, we're just going to spam Dragon Claw. Unless we see a Mamoswine, we're going to use Extreme Speed, or if we see a Gengar, we're going to use Earthquake. You can always follow super effective moves. For example, if you see Jolteon, it doesn't hurt to use Earthquake, however it'll work if you use Dragon Claw. That's pretty much all there is to Morimoto here. So let's check out Cynthia. In case you didn't know, Cynthia is just over here in her house, but is only available in the spring and summer seasons in PokeMMO. Remember, the season changes every real life month, so if Cynthia is not available, that means it's either fall or winter, so you'll have to wait until the spring season comes, which means potentially up to 2 months passing. So here we see the melodic lead, and we're going to lead the exact same way. Metagross is going to trick. Typically they'll swap into usually like Flamethrower or something like that, like we see here, and the burn doesn't matter. All we're doing here is getting our Stealth Rocks up and getting our Dragonite in. Dragonite resists that Flamethrower, so we have no risk as we set up and get ready to sweep. One thing that used to throw me off a lot here is Eelektross. Remember, Eelektross is Levitate. You'll be so tempted to click Earthquake on Eelektross because it's super effective. However, you cannot. It'll throw off the run, and if it's not the one that's choice locked, it can definitely cause some problems in this run. So just keep in mind that Eelektross is a Levitate mon. Going to +3 really helps here. However, it's not super necessary, since the only one I've found who needs +3 is Licky Licky, and the body slam of Licky Licky doesn't really hurt too much. So if you go +2 here, you should be fine. But I'd still recommend going +3 just for safety. Also, while you're setting up, just keep in mind every team of Cynthia's has a rough skin Garchomp, so you do need to keep a little bit of extra XP so you can survive that rough skin. And with that, that's it for Morimoto and Cynthia. I've been using this strategy to clear both of them very consistently and very simply, saving a lot of extra time on my charm. Hopefully this can help you out with your clears on these two also, so that they don't eat up a bunch of your charm while you're trying to do your gym rerun. If this video helped you out, make sure to hit that sub button. And if you want to go above and beyond, you can check out the join button to help support the channel directly through a membership. Thank you so much to all our current members and to all our Twitch subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic rest of your day.